Hello, hello. It is myself. It is I. I am the light of the Leo. And I am so happy to have this new series of recorded videos that I'm going to do. This is amazing. I'm so excited. I have been watching a lot of, I cannot say weird. I can't say they're weird, but
Don't say
different
weird.
things. Yeah, I'm watching some different things now, and I've certainly broadened my horizons thanks to Netflix. So we are, we. When I say we, myself and my lovely brother, Mr. JoJo Speaks himself, is going to come together. Hush, they can hear you. It's going to come together and talk about things that we're watching on Netflix. So I called this, well, we called this, you know what? Let's move on and include my brother in this because it just involves him too much. Let's go. Mr. JoJo Speaks is with me, my little bro. So I just wanted to talk about the glory in this great series that we're starting off here called He Made Me Watch. We're basically making each other watch stuff on Netflix, thus far, Netflix. And we're
Yeah.
just going to be talking about, or not talking about, totally reviewing it. And I'm the one that started off watching The Glory, and I wanted to make sure Jonathan saw it because it is so good. And he recently saw the first episode of it.
I
Now, first of
did.
all, I need to hear what is your overall feeling about it at first?
Sure. I will have to say, the first episode traumatized me. It literally traumatized me. I wanted to stop watching. I didn't want to keep watching it, and we'll get into why it traumatized me. But I will say, at the beginning, it caught my attention because I knew because you had told me a little bit of a synopsis of it, so I knew. Oh, so this is what this is, and this is what this is. So this is going to come together, and all will end well, per se.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I will have to say that I really enjoyed it. It drew me in, and I did not expect that. Because typically I'm into romance. I like to watch love stories. That's just my favorite thing to
Yeah.
watch. So as far as dramas that are dealing with other things, I really don't typically get into. So this is something new. This is out of my box, and I'm so glad that you got me to watch it.
Well, I'm happy that you're glad about it. I'm happy that I gave you the disclaimers.
Yes,
There's going to be some major bullying to the
right.
point where people are getting burned by curling irons. But I just want to make sure you know this is a retribution, a revenge situation,
Hmm.
and it's going to be all right. But you
Yes.
got to ride with it. Okay.
Right, you gotta ride with it. That's the thing. It's 16 episodes, y'all. We gotta ride with it. And it's gonna take it's you just gotta stick with it. That's all. Patience, y'all. Patience.
Absolutely. And I do want this to be something that we do weekly.
Hmm.
So hopefully we'll be dropping these videos every Wednesday. And of course these are recorded, but I just want to make sure you guys know when's the next video going to be coming. So today is Wednesday, July the 18th, 19th.
18,
Haha.
19.
19th. Haha.
Yes.
And then of course we're going to put down number 2 next week.
Hmm.
But enough of the random information that we're giving you guys. Let's just start talking about this show. It begins in 2002 with this young lady driving into town, and her name is Dong Moon. Dong Moon. And we'll just call her Moon. That is her surname, but Moon is just so, I don't know, it stands out to me. But yeah,
Right.
Dong Moon, she is just a quiet lady, it seems like, but she's just, her face has a face of determination. Like she's just moving forward. Like, what did you think when you first saw her, Jonathan?
When I first saw her, she did give me that determination. Like I said, I was unsure of what to expect, although you kind of told me what was going to happen. But it initially got to me, and then when they got into like that room where she was writing on that, I think she was writing on the walls or something like that, and old girl walked in. I was like, oh, okay, there we go. Okay, okay. And then and also seeing the scars on her arms, I was like, whoa, like they're
Oh,
giving us her story without giving us
yes.
her story, if you get what I'm saying. Um,
Absolutely.
and so they set it up perfectly. Like that was the perfect setup for this show. I loved it.
Perfect. And the scars that she had not was all up and down her arms.
All up and down her arms.
And over down to her back and everything like that. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely horrible. But after we meet her, we start seeing her story. And what I love how they tell this story is that we see it as a reflection of what she's going through right now in
Right.
2002, because all of it commingles and it all makes sense. So we saw that
Well,
this
2022.
in 2022, yes, it
Yeah.
all commingles, and so we go back to when she was in middle school. It's horrible. There were about three girls and two boys that moved to Italy. Um, basically, these girls-
I can't hear you, Jennifer. Your sound is kind of cutting out.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes, I can hear you now. Okay.
Okay, they kind of used her as like a whipping girl. It was absolutely horrible. These three girls and three boys. It horrible. They were using a curling iron on her, just burning her. They were very mean, rude, and horrible teenagers. It was ridiculous. Like, there was one scene. One of those girls that was the bully.
Hmm.
She had her father is a major pastor or reverend, and she invited them to church. And they were like, I wish we could never have to be invited to your church again. And they were like, well, I know a way we can make sure that happen. Do you have some white t-shirts? Child, they came up in there with them white t-shirts, no undershirt, no bra, no nothing. And Nip saying, hello.
I didn't even notice that.
You did that, and that's why they did that, just to show Nips. So they'll never be invited again. And they were just sitting there laughing.
Because I saw them in the
Amen.
church and I saw them laughing and I saw them acting like, they were having a good time, but I didn't even, yeah.
That's why. And see, this is why we need to have these conversations, because you don't see the little stuff. And
Right.
it was
Because,
literally the little stuff.
I'm not looking for the boobies, y'all. I'm not interested in them. I'm not. Okay, it's not my thing, So thank you for that little tidbit, Jennifer, because that made a lot of sense now. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm happy you realized that.
And you
So,
know what else?
what else?
I did not realize that in other countries they had those Pentecostal type preachers.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and the call and response is the same thing in
All over the
Korea. I
world.
was like,
I'm telling
wow,
you. I'm
this
telling you.
is interesting. I like
And
that.
this is what I enjoy about the exposure to a new
A new culture.
country. Yes, a new culture, and thank God they have the dubbing. Um, I like to watch and listen, so that's why I don't always do the subtitles, because sometimes I just don't want to have all of my attention in there. But the glory is dubbed in English. And did it take long for you to get used to the English, or you just didn't care?
I didn't care. That's typically how I watch foreign shows, anyways. If they're not originally in English, they will be dubbed because I don't have time to be reading all of the lines because I feel as though if I'm spending too much time reading what's on the screen, I'm not spending enough time in the actual scene itself and noticing everything that's going on in the scene because I'm looking at the bottom of the screen. So yes, it's always going
Yeah.
to be dubbed in English if I'm watching something foreign.
Now, I have done at least one series all the way through in that was subtitled.
Hmm.
I was able to make it through it. There was just some points where I'm over here walking around, living life, and I look up and realize I don't understand what's going on. Oh yeah, because I was reading, so
Right. Hmm.
but it's not bad. It's not too bad. But anywho, so this girl is being accosted by bullies daily. She used to smile, but now she don't no more.
Right.
And the question is, so like, what are we doing about this? How are we? You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. In a society that's mostly built upon classism.
Right.
So these kiddos are of
The upper
upper
echelon. Okay.
echelon. Okay, they parents giving money to police officers and things like that to quiet things
Hmm.
down and stuff like that. So she tried to tell one of, the teachers or whatever like that. You want to know what happened?
What happened, Jennifer?
That man beat her
Okay.
with
Okay.
everybody else around her.
Like
Beat
they
her
were there were so many cubicles and people started standing up watching him literally slap her around. Like she
over
and
and over.
her slap reactions, honey, were like she was getting slapped for real, for real. Like the hair was swinging, like the body was moving. I
Let
was
me tell you
like,
something, Jonathan. That little girl knew what she was doing. Okay,
okay,
acting.
Jennifer, you know what this brought to my mind, and I said this to you in the message that I sent to you, auto through
Yeah.
through text message. My thing is, okay, so in Korea, is this slapping and violence thing like a real thing that they do, like just on the ordinary day? Because those people were standing around there while that grown man was slapping this young child
Grown
like it
man.
was nothing. Like it's just a regular old day. It's just Tuesday, and we just slapping this hoe, and that's all there is to it. You know what I'm saying? And there all will be no repercussions.
This is the thought process I want you to give it.
Okay.
So you thinking society and stuff like that, and also there's a lot of bearing on grown people and younger. So even if
Right.
somebody's like 2 to 3 years older than you are giving them that respect because we're older. And when I let you see some more of the more, cutesy romance thing, it
Right.
always comes up. Well, I'm older than you, so you should be. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you have a teacher slapping around a little girl, maybe she deserved it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Gotcha. I see. I see.
And in the background, somebody said, and I just saw this. Thank God I did my homework. There's somebody in the background said, "Hey, that's enough."
Okay. Okay.
So it wasn't too crazy. They eventually got him off of her, but whatever.
After about 10 or 12 slaps, yeah. Yeah, he was
Eventually,
done by then, honey.
he done did his job. Okay, he was
I
done.
just could not get over that. This grown man, like it's one thing for her peers to be doing this, curling iron to the
Yes.
arm, and you hear the sizzle. You know what got me? The fact that I could see that the curling iron was plugged in. Like you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
see
yeah.
the cord, and that just added so much for me. It's like it adds to the realization that this girl is about to be burned by a
For
curling
real.
iron. But it's one thing to be that for that to be done by her peers, but for this grown man, a teacher, no less, just slapping her around like she. And what did she want to do? She wanted to leave the school, I think it was.
She she wanted to leave the school.
Right,
Um and what else? And I think they weren't really letting her. And
right,
also, I don't think it was until the nurse saw the issue
right.
to she they tried to move forward because the nurse left,
Yeah,
as you can see, which was like somebody that could actually see what was going on
and knew better.
and knew better. And but of course, once again with the classism, a lowly nurse would not be able to have somebody that's equivalent to a prince, somebody else that's rich,
Hmm.
a little princess or whatever. They would not be able to have them in trouble. So
Gotcha.
when she did finally do her "I'm getting out of here, I'm leaving, I'm voluntarily dismissing myself," she did out everybody that did what they did.
Right, right.
They called her and cursed her out. Why do they have her number if we hate her so much? They
I don't
call her,
know.
curse her out, tell her she's stupid, crazy. You could have just left quietly. Why'd you have to do it like this?
Right. Hmm.
And then even on top of that, after that happened, Young Jim Park, which is the main bad B word of the moment.
Okay, the HBIC, honey. Okay, and she walked
Okay,
like it too. Like
she
she
sure
got,
did.
like that girl's acting. Like you just knew, like from the second you seen that hoe, that
Oh,
she
we know
got it.
exactly who this is.
Okay.
And just her face once again acting top tier. So her mother, they have a police officer in their pocket.
Mm.
Okay, making sure that nobody's getting in trouble for anything. They're just pushing everything aside. And also, what they did is called up Dungung Moon's uh, drunk of a mother.
Mother, oh Lord, and then
Not that it's making this better.
her boyfriend trying to sign the paper, like, get your hands off that pen, boy. You ain't her parental guardian, sir.
Oh,
Oh Lord,
one of many
I had totally
boyfriends.
forgotten about her mother, child. Oh, her mother
Her
was
mother
something
was
else.
absolute T-rash, honey. You hear me?
When I saw her in that salon, was it a salon? When I saw her in that salon or whatever, and she was dressed the way she was dressed, I was like, who is this? And why is she not like everyone else?
That's the
I'm
problem.
I'm
But
so confused.
because, though there's a lot of drinking out there in Korea, she apparently took it overboard to the point where it affected her life majorly. And they used her mother to basically sign everything away. Basically say, yeah, my daughter's crazy or whatever. We're getting her out of school and all that stuff, and we're moving forward with life. None of these people should be in trouble for any of this. And also, um, the main uh what's it called, bullies
Hmm.
mother, did you remember them go to the shaman?
I think so. I think so. Yes.
There was a lot of jumping, drum playing,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
knives, and actually almost every single one of the videos that I've seen has mentioned some kind of shaman. um but they went to the shaman, and remember when her mother said, remember the shaman said, don't talk to anybody or associate yourself with anybody with the letter O in their name.
Yes, and I was like, what is that all about?
Well, when you're trying to social climb, when you're trying to keep money in your pocket, sometimes you pay somebody, a fortune teller, a prophet, somebody, to help you understand the future and to keep it funky. She was right.
Hmm.
Don't associate yourself with anybody with the O in their name. And of course, we have Dungung Moon, which has plenty of
Hmm.
O's in there. So
Okay.
it kind of tripled your fun in this
Right.
situation. Um, and you have anything else to say about any of the things I'm talking about?
I really wanted to get into the green shoes, even though we didn't see them come in until the second episode. Like, and we were introduced to them in the first episode, but we didn't see the significance of them until the second episode.
Well,
Um,
don't go there.
okay, so I won't get into the significance, but the main character, she walked up to this little girl in these green shoes, and had this conversation with her. And I initially was like, "Oh, this looks like her. I think this is her." Then I was like, "Maybe it's not." But then I was like, "Oh yeah, it's her. This is definitely her."
This
And
is
she's
Dungung Moon.
right, Dong Moon, and she's talking to this weather lady's daughter. Is that her daughter?
Yes, it's Young Jin's daughter.
Young Jing's daughter. And I
Cute little
thought,
girl.
yes. And so, when you think of someone who is like, who's so smart in what they're doing,
Yeah.
and it's every little move that they make, there's so much thought put behind every single thing that they do. And it's
Mhm.
like, dang, they shouldn't have messed with this girl because she is going to end their lives.
So, thank you for bringing up that talk that she had with her nemesis daughter.
And
Um,
she was so nice to her too. She was
very
so
sweet.
nice to her. I'm like, I wonder if her mother is this nice to her.
We shall see.
Hmm.
Um, But Dong Moon told her a very nice fairy tale slash
A
story,
fairy tale,
which
yes.
was literally her truth.
Right, right. And she literally told her, my story is not a fairy tale, my little sister. My story is
Okay.
not a fairy tale, honey. Okay.
And she said, I don't like it because my mama's not in it. Like, okay.
Oh, you want me to tell you a story with your mama in it? Okay, because I can tell you that story.
Because she could have said, oh no, your mama's in this one.
That's what she should have said. That's what she should have said. Not could have said. That's what she should
But
have said.
this was a
Okay.
little girl. She was like 5 or 6. So, we
She
can't,
couldn't handle that. She
we
couldn't
can't
handle
kill her
that.
with the truth. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm doing a good job of not foreshadowing anything. I'm amazing. Because I've seen the whole thing more than once.
Okay.
Anywho,
More than all 16 episodes more than once?
yeah, I have. It's good.
Wow.
It's
That's a
good.
commitment. That's how good this thing is gonna get good. Cause y'all, I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so I'm still excited. I'm watching it as we go.
So, what is really important for you to hear when as we move on, because I think I covered the bulk of the show and the things that we saw there in the first episode.
Right.
But one of the most important things that we see in the first episode is when she comes back. Dong Moon comes back to the same place where she was abused by her fellow students, and they were like, "Ugh, you have some nerve."
Now, this is not 2022 now. This is not
No,
years and years and years and years
she
and
was
years later.
still a youngin.
This is right after she was taken out of school. And she came back.
Yes.
She came back, y'all. She came back. And it wasn't even threatening in any way.
Mm-mm.
Although that smile was sinister, I will say. That smile was a mess. But she didn't come back with anger. She didn't come back all
No,
pumped up. She came back to just let her know what was the deal. She
and
wanted to let her know what was real,
yes,
honey. Okay.
she came there looking for information. She was asking, "Hey, so what I saw in the hallway that your dream is to be a good mother and a wife." And she's like, "Well, like, yeah, and it's like, you want to be a painter, you want to be,
Okay.
a socialite or whatever, and you want to own the golf course that your family
Right.
owns." And the one that don't matter, they use him as a flunky. The second dude, he's like, "Well, I got a dream too." Well, nobody
Did
asked
nobody
you.
ask you, sir? Okay. We handling business right now.
Okay. And Miss Young Jin Park. Well, before then, I think it wasn't even Park because I think that's the married name that she might have. I don't know.
Okay.
Miss Young Jin, she was like, "Yeah, and for all I know, I may just use my beauty while I'm young,
Okay. Yeah.
marry, okay, and get a really cute job or whatever."
Now,
But
initially, she seemed to be a little bit embarrassed by the fact that old girl brought that up in front of her friends. And her
yeah,
friends were kind of dogging her just a little bit, just a tad bit initially after she said what she said. And I was like, ooh, I mean, that's the first time I saw tension within that group. And I was like,
absolutely.
oh, I see what this is. So y'all just friends with her because of clout. Y'all know that she can get y'all where y'all want to be. Y'all don't really like the girl at all. They don't like her. That's the crazy thing. They
They
don't
fear
like
her.
her.
They fear
Yes,
her.
yes, they do
That's
fear
that's
her.
it.
They
Um,
fear her.
but yeah, if you think about it, you can kind of see why she wants to be a great mother and wife because, like we talked about in my regular Light of the Leo shows, my lives that I have every Monday night at 9. So we got to go to the pathology.
Mm-hmm.
How was her mother to her?
Yeah.
Just strict. She was really hard on her. And I can kind of see why she would like to just do better by her own when it comes to be her time.
And isn't that interesting that such a nasty person, at the end of the day, they still want to be better than someone else? Like
Ain't that
morally
something?
better
Ain't that
than
something?
someone else. That's crazy to me. But that shows you that she knows better. That shows you that she knows better. And she knows exactly what
Absolutely.
she's doing.
And she does. What I'm super excited about is for you to see how everybody turned out. Because of course you're going to meet
Okay.
everybody for the future
Okay.
because Miss Young Jin, she was not the only one. putting hands on her or doing things towards her.
She
She was
wasn't the only
actually
one,
having
right?
other people that were complacent in it move
Hmm.
forward in that. And Jonathan, I just keep on thinking about all the things that happened to them. This show is great. And we're going to have some really great conversations about this. But one of the last things that we see on this episode is her and um, how she basically came up. So,
Okay, okay.
with Dong Moon, she got out of school, and when she got out of school, she had to immediately start the process of working.
Yes, she did.
She was in a
It was like a
plantation.
fabric plant of
Yeah, a
some
fabric
sort.
plant or something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, she was working in a plant, working hard, and she was
working
studying
hard for the money, honey.
so
Working
hard
hard for the
for it,
money.
honey. Okay,
Okay.
she was not only working, but she was studying as well. I think the
Yes.
sweetest thing, what was so beautiful about this, I'm going to point it out now instead of wait till way later to point it out, until for her to see it, because it took her forever to see this.
Right.
But um she this girl that she worked with, first of
Hmm.
all, Dong Moon never talked to nobody, and I mean nobody.
Didn't talk to a soul. Nobody.
Nobody.
Which is understandable.
Understood. While she was working, she never really talked, but I think they worked and lived in the same place, to be honest.
They lived in the same apartment area or living area,
Yeah.
yes. Like two doors
So
down, maybe.
yeah, and the bathroom was not in their places. So there would be one coworker that she had that would always work near her, but never talk to her. But she was really a sweetie. Um, Whenever she would come back from the bathroom, she would actually take off her shoes and tiptoe into her room, because Dong Moon was using
A bench.
a bench as a desk and
Right.
studying.
Hmm.
So while she was doing all these years of working at that plant, that fabric plant, it looked like, she was getting her GED.
Yes, she do. She got her GED. She sure did. Yes, she
She got
did.
it. Did she
She
celebrate
did.
though?
No, she ain't got
No.
time to celebrate. What time she got to celebrate? She got to go to work. Okay, no time for a celebration.
But also she's focused. She's
Very
focused
much
on
so.
what the end will be. Okay.
Very much so.
And she also made it into college. And that actually started her departure from the plant that she was working at. And her last day at the plant, it's really sweet. That same girl that would, you know, tiptoe into her room just to give Dong Moon her peace
Her
and
peace and
quiet
quiet.
while she was studying. She finally came up to her and talked to her before she left the last day. You know,
Right.
she said, "I hear you're going to college. I'm so happy for you."
Right. Like she was such a breath of fresh air for that show.
Yes.
I think she was the only happy person on that show, the only
Only.
person to really genuinely smile on that
Yes.
show, like a genuine smile on that show, not a sinister smile. Okay. But yes, I will say initially, and this is the gay talking. I really
Yeah.
thought that they was going to start a lesbian affair. Like I really thought that this was going to be her girl. But then I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe no.
You know what? I won't say anything just to keep you thinking like that. No problem.
Okay, yeah.
So yes, she was
Because I'm
so very.
always when I'm watching these shows, I'm always looking for who's gonna hook up with who.
Who's
Because
the
like
connection?
romance is my thing. Like I love to
Yeah.
see the love stories. So yeah, but we saw that was not the case. Okay,
But she was very nice to her, very
she
sweet. She was
was be-
excited for her.
because she could have been really rude to that girl. And in some other shows, she would have been really rude to that girl. But these people have good writers,
Yes.
and they gave them a really, really nice scene.
We had
And
to we needed
old
it.
girl kept her. What is her name again? The main character. I need to learn her name.
Yeah, see, that's why I got the names written right here. Dong Moon.
Dong Eun Moon, she really could have been nasty to that woman, but
Coulda.
stop talking to me. I'm trying to work here, girl. Can't you see? But she was cordial with her. Answered all
Yeah.
of her questions fully. Let her know what she planned to do and all that good stuff. It was nice.
It was
And I
nice.
loved the other girl's hair. I don't know why, but I just
All the
love.
curliness.
I
It was just
love
big.
her hair because
She had the colorful barrettes and all that stuff.
yes, because typically with those who are Asian, typically it's all bone straight and
Mm-hmm.
that's all that we see. But she had a little bit of texture, and it was nice, and it fit her personality as well.
Yes,
It
bubbly.
fit her personality,
Exactly.
yes.
And the hair did fit her face too.
It
Um,
did. Her face was round, and so
yes.
it was nice. It was nice.
And I'm gonna say this because I know that I need to say this. Remember her.
Okay, okay, okay.
And also another person I need you to remember. Do you remember just the scene that we just talked about?
Hmm.
But before the plant and all that good stuff. When she went into that the gym, as you can see, they found themselves a new lackey, a new girl to
Right.
torture.
Yeah.
Remember her.
Hmm. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Gotcha.
Yes. But yeah, the very last scene was her in college, getting her stuff together, and she was in a coffee shop. Apparently she making enough money to get coffee. Praise God in the
Okay.
glory. And you know what? You know what, she wasn't out and about busting it wide open in the clubs and stuff like that while she was getting her work in at the
Okay.
plantation, not plant, well, the plant. She just know she was saving money.
Of course, yes, absolutely. Yes, very much so.
Because there was no kind of, ain't no real scholarships about to be paying for her.
No,
Especially with her coming from nothing, from literally the bottom.
literally nothing.
She got beat down to the bottom as well.
Okay.
So she's coming from that. And now she's in college, which is amazing. I don't know what kind of ingenuity, what kind of drive would have somebody just to keep on pushing, but she kept on pushing because she not only had the issues at school, but her home life was no better.
Mm-mm.
So she had to get it on her own.
But she
So,
persevered,
and that's what
and
matters.
that shows strength. And it's so amazing to see an Asian woman who is so strong. Typically, you see someone like Lucy Liu, who was in the new Shazam movie, and she played a villain who was extremely strong. She was a god in that movie.
Yeah.
Typically, we do not see Asian women in those roles, and so I'm so happy that we are seeing an Asian woman take on this role of basically like a Kill Bill character. Like,
And it's
I'm
like,
gonna get yo.
and I think it's just the fact that we are tapping into their movies, the Korean movie or the Korean
Mhm.
show. So we can see them in so many different lights.
Yes.
So you will see a lot of those lights. And you know what? I usually don't I didn't want to say remember, but I need you to take a look at that last scene. You have to pay attention on how they show things. That last
Okay.
scene of them in the coffee thing,
Okay.
and how we were literally overhearing somebody's whole conversation, and the old girl was just trying to get some coffee.
Right, because it's like nothing really happened in the scene, but when it seems like nothing's happening in the scene, that's when something really big is probably happening in the scene.
So remember that.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So that's all I'm gonna say with that. But that really brings over the whole episode. I was about to tell you something else, but when I looked through the episode, I saw that that was not revealed just yet. So I'm going to keep
Okay.
that to myself. But did you have any other words? Just wondering.
No, that's pretty much it from me, girl.
I feel like we got it all out, and I'm happy that we did. So this has been our review of episode 1 of The Glory. I wish it was a season 1 because they need to do some more of this stuff. Whoever wrote this was good. They
Yeah,
did
a lot
that.
of these types of series are kind of like one-off series that don't get second
Yeah,
seasons.
and I hate that, but
That's kind of
they
what Netflix is doing, though.
they
That-
deserve
that's-
some more. They deserve at least one more, at least with Dungo Moon doing her thing. And once we get to the last episode, you'll understand why I'm saying that. Anywho,
Okay.
yeah, this is such a great story. This is only episode 1, and we've already seen so much from Dungo Moon, which is the
So much.
main chick, and we're going to really find out what she's made of and what her thought process is, because this is going to be a wild ride. And in 1 hour, we saw the whole establishment of what's going on in this particular series. So I thank you guys. Do you thank him, Jonathan?
Of course. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sure a lot of you who are watching are probably not used to us or maybe have never been to our channel. So thank you so much for coming over. We hope that we would like for you to subscribe, put up a thumbs up and leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the show. But thank you so much for
Yes.
watching us because this is why we're doing it, because we know other people are watching these shows. I love to watch reactions and reviews on YouTube. And so why not make one?
Why not? So we encourage you guys to go ahead and put your comments down below. Go ahead and like this video, and of course subscribe to the Light of the Leo. And of course JoJo Speaks himself, he has his hold on. JoJo Speaks
Yes.
himself, he does have his own channel, JoJo Speaks. He does go live every Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Thank you guys for joining us for this review. I hope y'all have a lovely day. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Did it stop?